So good morning, good evening and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, wherever and whenever you are out there in the big wide world. Welcome to what is not an Abroad in Japan video, despite the fact that I completely ripped off his intro, but an Abroad in Japan fan video, where this is going to be one part story time, one part thank you, and 100% amateur as I walk slowly around this rather beautiful looking Welsh nature reserve full of, I don't know what the fuck those are, but yes, doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm making this video because in 6 days' time I am going to be leaving good old Wales, good old Blighty, the United Kingdom, and flying to the other side of the world to teach English in a school that I don't know where it's going to be, teaching kids of ages that I do not know, with people who I also do not know. And what set me all on this path was Abroad in Japan, and let me tell you why. So grab a cup of tea, get a biscuit, because I'm going to ramble on as I have not scripted this in the slightest, besides the past 10 minutes where I've just been talking to myself out here in the wilderness like a madman. Anyway, about 5 years ago, there I was, first year of university, sitting in my lounge with a strongbow in one hand and a remote control in the other, flicking through the TV channels as you do, just trying to find something to watch while I drink before going out with my friends. And I came across a little documentary called Shinjuku, the world's busiest station, or something along those lines. And basically, it was an hour's documentary all about Shinjuku Station. And honestly, nothing to do with Abroad in Japan just yet, but you'll see just now in just a moment. So I was watching it, bit boring, but also quite interesting. I kind of got interested because of that documentary in looking more into Japan, finding out some more stuff about it. And oh my god, my arms are aching already from carrying this camera. So yes, I was watching that documentary, decided, you know what, let's go on YouTube, see what I can find. And as you do, you go on YouTube, type in work life in Japan or something like that. Because that's what I was interested in mostly from that documentary, was the work ethic, that they really showed, that this ganbatte attitude that the workers had at Shinjuku Station, despite the fact none of them actually had a weekend in years or something along those lines. And as you do, YouTube, next video, suggested video, and you spiral down and down to the dark depths of the internet, and that is how I found the Abroad in Japan channel. The first video that I watched was aptly titled, How to Live and Work in Japan. And I believe it was one of Chris's earliest videos that I remember watching. And essentially, it's the video where he talked about the JET program. And he also mentioned Interac in there a little bit. And little 18-year-old me thought to myself, I could do that. That doesn't sound so difficult. How hard can it be? But I'm not an idiot. So I thought, take it slowly, let's do a bit more research, let's have a look into this and see if it's actually something that I want to do. Fast forward a year, and I pretty much decided that's what I'm going to do. But I'm still in university, so I've got to finish that first. I finished it. I applied to JET in my last year, got rejected. Didn't even get to have an interview with them. That was a bit disappointing, but you know what? Things happen. Can't do anything about it other than try again next time. Or not next time, because I didn't actually apply a second time to JET, because it came to my attention that everybody under the sun who wants to live and work in Japan as an English teacher will first of all apply to JET. So I applied to the next big thing, which was Interac. Now I applied to Interac in June or July last year, and within about 2-3 weeks I had an interview down in Cardiff. I'm going to turn around now because that's the exit, I'm not finished with this. So yeah, I applied to Interac, went to the interview down in Cardiff after a grueling 4 hours on the bloody train, because Arriva Trains Wales and the Welsh transport system is garbage. That's one thing I'm really looking forward to in Japan. It's a train system that runs on time and you don't actually have to stand up for 4 hours. That's a bit of a letdown. So I went to the interview, conducted it, had a bit of a seminar as well, took about 5-6 hours, and there were only 2 of us applicants there. So it was quite personal, quite one-on-one. And by the end of the day, we shook hands with the interviewer and left. About a month later, I got an email saying, we're very happy with your interview and your application, and we'd like to offer you a job. Brilliant. Balls rolling, I thought. So a month after that, I get the official letter of employment and say, send us all your information, this, that and the other, and we'll sort out your work visa for you. By about November, I'd sent them absolutely everything that I'd need. And I was due to start working in Japan about March, April time, I think it was. So, start of March comes along, and I've still not had my certificate of eligibility, which is the first thing you need before getting a work visa to be an ALT in Japan. So I'm on the phone to them going, excuse me, yeah, where's my certificate of eligibility? Oh, sorry, this because we changed over our computer system, it's been a bit of a delay, or something along those lines. End of March came and went, still no certificate of eligibility. No information, nothing. So I get on the phone to them again, same story. And for about a month or so after that, I didn't know what was going on. Until eventually my certificate of eligibility did arrive, as well as an email a few days afterwards, or before, wasn't it, the email came, explaining that I'm going to be starting on June the 10th. Well, that's when the training starts in Japan. So only a 2-month delay with very little information, but oh well, shit happens. So I get my certificate of eligibility, go to the Japanese embassy in London, I should be saying. Get my work visa sorted out, spend another 12 hours on British transport. It's not good, it's really not good. And then again another 12 hours a couple of days later to pick it up. I still have nightmares. Anyway, that brings us to, well, that was a month ago now. So that brings us to today, again, where I'm going to be flying to the other side of the world in 6 days. And the thing that put the idea in my head to begin with was an Abroad in Japan video. Now I've been following the Abroad in Japan channel ever since then. And every time I thought to myself, what are you doing? You don't want to go to Japan. You're being silly. Yes, it'd be nice, but what can you do? You're a perfectly average British bloke with very few things to boast about. Well, Chris appears to be quite the average British bloke, no offence. And if Chris managed to survive, I think I could survive. And basically every time I thought about quitting, an Abroad in Japan video would pop up and go, that's why I'm doing it again, because that looks interesting and fun. And you're only alive once, so you might as well give it a damn good go with the time that you got left. So, here I am, walking around with my arms aching from carrying this camera as I've not got a selfie stick, babbling on and on about shit to people who probably don't even care, just trying to say thank you to a camera because I thought it would be a bit more poetic to say thank you through the form of a video than it would through just a normal comment on Patreon, just because it's a bit more personal. You can see my ugly mug as I'm saying it all. And there's a dog over there. I'm going to turn around again. So yeah, that's my little story, and the reason why I'd like to say thank you to Chris, the entire Abroad in Japan team, and everyone who's affiliated with the channel. Because I know you said it, I think you've mentioned before when you've met fans you're a bit awkward about it. But I really do want to say thank you. Mostly because, yeah, without the Abroad in Japan channel, I probably would not have decided to give this a go, and I wouldn't be spending my entire life savings on a move to Japan, and I don't know whether or not I'll enjoy it yet. Sure I will though. How bad can it be? I learned how to use chopsticks barely, so if I can eat, I can survive, it'll be fine. I'm not sure what else I wanted to add to this. I'm sure there are a few other things, and I'll forget as soon as I put the camera down, because I've been debating whether or not I attempt to edit this, because I've been stuttering and stammering a lot. But I don't think I will. Just going to show you how much of an amateur I am with this shit. But now I am going to put the camera down because I've run out of things to say, except for thank yous. And if anybody else is watching this, bear in mind, I am doing the exact same thing that Chris did to begin with when he went to Japan. And I'm not particularly special in any way, shape or form. So if you're considering going to Japan to be an ALT, and you're not particularly special, no offence, you could probably do it as well. Anyway, that's about it, because I will just ramble on now. Cheers, and goodbye.